Welcome everybody to the forbidden yet incredibly anticipated top 10 best Loli Ecchi anime ever video. My name is Misty Kronexia, and this list will reflect a different variety of Loli characters. If you're unaware of what Lolis are, let me enlighten you. Loli is a shorter version of Lolita, a term used to design prepubescent girls. Ecchi stands for perverted stuff. So yeah, you guessed it, sexual humor with little girl. That can't go wrong. But don't worry, there won't be any nudity in any of these, we'll keep that for a rainy day. However, if you find that too distasteful for you, there's a tamer, family-friendlier version that I did a few weeks ago that you can look into this annotation right here. Also, for legal reason, I gotta point out that here at Misty Chronexia Production Inc., we do not in any way support or condone illicit sexual interaction with children, and in no way, shape, or form do we promote the distribution of child pornography or shows which could infringe in your country some laws or another. We are a reviewing company and we encourage viewers to accept these animated pieces purely as artistic expression. Alright, now that I made sure my ass is not gonna end up in jail, let's go!
大人パンチの子や。なんだそれは。やこちゃんからは見えへんかった？あの子。
Standing at number 10 is Chubara. Chubara is a very interesting topic for kids, I believe. Despite its overbearing sexualization of their lingerie and kind of the same 5 jokes being put on loops, it does tackle the topic of puberty via the girl's body changing. The story is about Naru, a middle school girl who likes racy undergarments. She decides to build a school club with some other girls, where they go shopping for underwears, most notably bra, hence the title. Mix the whole thing with your usual Japanese anime molesting, upskirts, and static shot of girl half naked on a bed, and there you have something. Not a show I'd notably recommend, but hey, it's gotta have an appeal for someone out there. Number 9, Astarote no Omocha. Alright, so I started off quite easy. This one, however, is a very, how can I put it, eccentric can of worms. Where do I even begin? Alright, so this story's main character is Astarote. We're gonna call her Asta, cause she's cute, right? 10-year-old little Asta. Aww. So what does Asta have to do? She's a succubus who's gotta build herself a harem of males so she can absorb their semen and not lose her magical power. Yeah, that went south fast. So of course there's also a hiccup with this when Asta turns out to be afraid of all the guys ever. One guy comes in, no pun intended, that'd be really disturbing, and he's 23 years old. And where is this even going? So yeah, that's a show to watch, maybe? Whoa! Number 8, Kanamemo. Next on this list is Kanamemo. Where is this even going? It doesn't really have a plot. It's one of those situational shows where episode 1 begins and by episode 13 there's been little to no progression at all. There should be a term for that. Oh, there is? Slice of life? That can't be right, that sounds stupid. So little 13-year-old Kana, who was staying at her grandma's place, has to find a new one to live when the granny chokes on a chicken wing. Not literally, kind of metaphorically. Kana finds a newspaper carrier station and decides to work for them to pay her room and board. And no, that's not a euphemism for a whorehouse. Although it might as well just be one, honestly. One-dimensional characters, repetitive jokes, but an easy show to clear out in a week.
すいませんでした、立花さん。
もう、ちゃんと聞いてよね。昨日寝ないで考えてきたんだ。してないです。
Number 7, Dakupo. Unless I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Dakupo is based off an eroge, a sexual visual novel harem that's quite successful in Japan. You got a main character who can get paired to any girl he wants, including some rather young ones. As usual, when it comes to the anime adaptation of visual novels with multiple paths, it it's kinda hard to give a result everyone is happy with. But thankfully, by spreading the plot through several seasons and nearly 100 episodes, you get to learn a lot about the characters, which doesn't make them as bland as your typical pick. If you're willing to invest several hours in an anime and you like harem, dust off this title, you can be pleasantly surprised. Or not.
すごいです。杉並様に何という侮辱を。みことさん、おはようございます。はい、おはよう、日の本葵。
鏡黒。
はーい。
鏡、授業中に携帯は。
Number 6, Kodomo no Jikan. Oh man, who expected this anime on this list besides everybody? If you're new to the scene, you might have never heard of Kodomo no Jikan. The story is about Daisuke, a 3rd grade teacher who just started his new job. But in his class is 3 troublesome girls, among which is most notably Rin. Rin is a fucking psychopath, and she's gonna do anything she can to make the teacher love her. Oh yes, I do mean in that special way. She isn't short of legit blackmailing him. This show can either discuss you pretty easily or give you some introspect at how mental some kids can be. If anything, this title is one of the most artistic pieces on this list, and I recommend it regardless of that because the manga's ending makes the whole thing have sense, but it's definitely not for everyone.
とにかく、もう誰にもミミちゃんを傷つけさせない。絶対に。さあ、実験あるんだよ、実験。空気鉄砲。
いいよ、俺が書くよ。
そう。じゃあ、ちょっと休んでいい？
あいて！今噛んだろ。
Number 5, Kyonago no Ni. Just like Kodomo no Jikan, this is a title that gets a worse reputation than it deserves. I think what the creator wanted to achieve with this title was to showcase children and their introduction to sexuality, because, well, it's something everyone eventually go through. The producer might have taken a really humorous approach to the topic, which can make the anime seem kind of disrespectful in what it's trying to achieve. So what I can say is this, Kyonago no Ni is a fun title to watch if you go about it lightheartedly.
こら！逃げないで謝りなさいよ！リディア、何があったの？おはよう。そして、グッバイ。
Number 4, Fate Kaleid. I'm sorry, this anime had a spot secure on this list as soon as I saw that passionate kiss between the two kids. Add to it all the odd sexual lesbian tension that flies left and right. I mean, what else could you want more? The worst part, or maybe the best part, is that it's still a great anime. Comedy is straight on point, it's a spin-off of the famous Fate franchise, so there's hardly anything I can reprimand out of this show. Furthermore, I can only praise the show for their interracial lesbian pairing. If anything, showing that to kids put on good morals in my book. You go girl, break those social barriers. Oh well, in a nutshell, magical girl theme around the Fate franchise. There you go. Next!
頑張ります。保険の栗山愛子です。よろしくお願いします。
Number 3, Mitsudomoe. A different take on the child power play on a teacher thing. Kinda like Kodomo no Jikan. Seriously, you never have the title without someone mentioning the other one. Mitsudomoe's plots focuses a lot more on the comedy aspect rather than the dramatical blackmailing appeal that Kodomo no Jikan went with. You have 3 triplets who do their best to try and pair the teacher with the school nurse. This anime has some very adult humor saw through the eyes of the kids, such as kicking him in the nuts in order to have the nurse look at his... Yeah, well, you get it. It's a really fun show if you want to kick back and laugh for a while.
一緒に遊ぶっす。ほらほら、担任らしくサービスしなさいよ。
首入ってるから。
京子ちゃん、ゆいちゃん、お待たせ。遅刻か。遅刻だな。
Number 2, Yuri. Yuri is probably one of the tamer entries on this list. In this show, there is not much interaction with adults. It mostly focuses on a group of 13-14-year-old girls as they go through puberty. The anime itself isn't incredibly sexualized either, which most definitely makes it an odd entry on the list of ecchi anime, but it has its fair share of reference to the topic and an everlasting ongoing lesbian vibe that must count for something. It's mostly a show about self-discovery and merrymaking, with in-depth characters, cheery atmosphere, and a great dose of comedy. An anime not a lot of people give enough credits to, in my opinion.
私入部希望です。愛と正義のミラクル変身セット華麗に購入。さあ千夏ちゃんクラス分け聞いてる？うん3人一緒のクラス。イエーイあらはしたない終わったら各自
And finally, number 1, Mahou Shoujo Lyrical Nanoha. I'm super torn about what to think when it comes to this anime. Lyrical Nanoha feels like a very serious show when you dig through its core, but on the surface you have oddly sexualized transformation of a 10-year-old girl getting naked and turned into a magical girl. Is that meant to be sexual like that, or am I thinking too much into it? It's just the white body shape. It's as not sexual as Sailor Moon transformation are, but at the same time you have nearly a full episode of girls of all age in a bathhouse getting tickled underwater. So I don't really know. Tell me what you think about this one, because I do believe the action scenes and the story are quite interesting regardless. But yeah, it's a weird title.
よろしければこれをお持ち帰りください。自信作のビスケットです。
ありがとうかわいいね
So what's your take on this list? Anything you feel doesn't belong here or should be replaced by another title? Let me know in the comment section below, and if you've seen all these Loli ones and you want more, why not hit up the last one I did in this annotation here, bam! If not, you can always check out my playlist on this side, ka-chunk! I can't afford proper sound effects, so I gotta do with this. Anyway, thanks you guys for your time. If you like indie project, I'd like to tell you about the anime I'm currently working on, Chronexia and the 8th Seal. If you want to swing by the Patreon, we have cool stuff going on. It's a party, it's a rave, it's whatever you want it to be, boo. But anyway, you guys have a nice weekend and I'll see you again next time. Whoop whoop. Oh shit, that's the sound of the cops, I gotta go! Man, I really gotta find a way to afford real sound effects.